Last night, the playoffs kicked off with a 4-hour, 55-minute wild card marathon between the Rockies and the Cubs, with Colorado beating Chicago 2-1 in 13 innings. And maybe the game's an exception there, but there's all this specialization, the pitching changes, and I have a feeling that several of these games in the playoffs are going to go late into the night. On the flip side, you get a lot of drama because every at-bat has significance. And if you like the strategy aspect of the game, you certainly have that as well. But this year's postseason has great teams, plenty of fascinating storylines, and if you have the patience, there's going to be some exciting games. Just can't promise that you're going to get some sleep. We talked about the Chicago Cubs. They were the team of the future. They tanked. They started from scratch. They got rid of big contracts. They got bad before they got good, before they got great, before they became World Series champs. But if you're a Chicago Cub fan, you win the World Series, and then after that, it's like, you win the lottery, and then you keep playing the lottery after you won the lottery. And if you don't win, you're okay because you won the lottery a couple of years ago. Then all of a sudden, 2 years after winning the World Series and you're out of the playoffs, then you start to go, I don't know. I was a little too quick. Wait, I thought we had a great nucleus here. You got money tied up in some players that you're not going to want to have that money tied up in. You got Yu Darvish for 5 more years. Jason Hayward for 5 more years. You got some young players there, but you're wondering about this. What is a dynasty now? How long does a dynasty last? And maybe it's sport to sport, because I look at San Antonio Spurs, that was a dynasty. Every year that they were playing for a championship, or at least the opportunity, and that's 15 years. Patriots, I view the Patriots as a dynasty. But who else is a dynasty now? Are the Red Sox a dynasty? A dynasty in the making, perhaps? What if they lose? What if they don't win the World Series? It's not a dynasty. But the Cubs, it felt like, here's a nucleus. Are the Astros a dynasty? I like the Astros' future better than I do the Cubs. But you start to look at these teams and you go, what's the shelf life here for being great? Just being competitive. The Yankees were pretty much the preeminent franchise. That was a dynasty because you won World Series titles. The Giants every other year are dynasty. Problem is, those years when they don't win, they're not very good. But looking at the Chicago Cubs with last night bowing out, and I think that they just got tired. If you look, they haven't had a day off. So 42 of the last 43 days, they played a baseball game. Didn't get any time off because you had rainouts. You had to make up for that. But, congrats to the Rockies, though. That's a great story. Baseball gets introduced to the Rockies now. This is what happens in baseball. A lot of times, you're not following it during the regular season, unless you're a diehard fan of that team. And then all of a sudden, you get on the national stage, and then you're going, oh, wow, they got some interesting guys here. Fun team here. Oh, Bud Black's their manager. That's sort of the feeling you get with the Colorado Rockies with their coming out party.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.